Yo, this is a message for all the fathers, especially fathers with sons, and especially fathers, black fathers, with young black sons. I'm going to tell you this right now. Y'all need to stand up and advocate for your kids. Stand up and advocate for your kids. Because I'm going to give you a little story. So, my wife called me last week saying that the school had called her on my first grader. My son is 6 years old, he's in first grade. And they said that he was caught in the lunchroom making a gesture. And I sat and I thought about it. I was like, that don't sound like my son. I got home, I asked my son, I said, hey, why did you get sent up to the principal's office today? He said, Daddy, they said that I made a gun gesture. I didn't. He said, Dad, I was boxing in the air like this, and they sent me to the front office. So I said, okay. I said, son, let's just go over this. You are not to make any gun gestures. You are not to airbox while at school. He said, okay. First thing Monday morning, I went to my son's school. I dropped him off. I went and handled some other business. I came back to his school and I talked to his assistant principal. I said, hey, my son was sent up to the front office for making a gun gesture. And I don't see my son making gun gestures. I said, that's a harsh accusation to put onto a 6-year-old. I said, I'm one of those parents that I believe my children, but I am not one of those parents that if my child is in the wrong, I am not going to correct them. So I need you to run these tapes back and find out if my son did indeed make a gun gesture. They said, that's fine. She went on to explain to me that there was a group of 4 children sitting at that lunch table. Now, what color they were, I'm not sure. I know my son is black, right? So they're all playing around. I'm assuming they all got loud at the end of the lunch. And this is what the principal is telling me. They probably got loud. One of the lunch lady saw one of the students make a gun gesture and sent them all 4 up to the principal's office to spend the remainder of lunch at the principal's office. I said, did that teacher or did that lunch lady see my son make that gesture? The principal said, I'm not sure, but we can roll back the tapes and see. I said, you see the difference between being loud and putting up a gun gesture? Those are 2 different things. And I don't want my son, being a young black man, having that stigma put on him for putting up a gun gesture while in school. And I know that my son is not like that. My son is very respectful. He's a normal 6-year-old. And with everything that's going on in this world today, right? With everything going on in this world where they're wanting to, I'm not saying this is how it is in Georgia as of yet, but I've heard in different states, if your child is deemed as a problem child, if your child is deemed as a problem child or as a disturbance to other children, they are kicking those children out and putting them in some type of alternative school. So one, we're not about to start that with my child, with our child, with me and my wife's child. We're not about to start that with our child. So I said, roll back those tapes. They roll back the tapes, and come to find out, like my son said, he did not do it. My son said that he did not do it, and they rolled back the tapes, and he did not do it. So now, in the lunch lady's mind, he's a problem child for some imaginary gun that he didn't even fucking put up. Do you see what type of problem that could lead to later on down the line? Do you see what type of problem that could lead to within this year? And gladly, that assistant principal, gladly, she heard me out, and she explained. She said, Miss, such and such, I appreciate you for coming in and being such a concerned parent. I appreciate you for coming in and being such a concerned parent, because there are not many parents that are like that. That's crazy. Are we just dropping our kids off at school and just leaving them for the teachers and the assistant principal, the principals to deal with? Is that what we're doing? We have to be more in tune when it comes to our children. Don't just drop them off and think that is their responsibility. I'm sorry, tongue-tied. Don't think that it's those people's responsibility. At the end of the day, those are your kids. Those are still your responsibility. And if you're a father, especially a black father with black sons, be more attentive. Be more attentive. Be there for your sons. Praise them when they're right. Scold them when they're not. So, stand up. Stand up for your kids. When they're right, they're right. When they're wrong, they are wrong. But don't let these people put a bad stigma on your freaking kids. Do not let these people put a bad stigma on your kids. And that's all I gotta say. I'm sorry that this took so long, but I had to get that out. I had to get it out. I took off so I can go up to that school, head held high, and to tell them my son said that he did not do it. So I believe my son. Now, if he did do it,